Have your legs been feeling weaker lately? Heavier, maybe even painful with each passing day? You're not alone, and what I'm about to share might surprise you. In fact, it could change the way you look at your diet, your supplements, and even the daily choices you make without a second thought. I've spoken to dozens of patients over the years who swore they were doing everything right, eating well, taking their vitamins, staying active, but their legs kept giving out on them. Sound familiar? If you've ever struggled to stand up from a chair, felt like climbing stairs was a battle, or noticed your legs just don't bounce back like they used to, this video was made for you. And before we go any further, where are you watching from? What meals do you usually enjoy? Do you have a loved one who could use this information too? If so, feel free to send this video their way. You just might help them more than you know. Because today, we're diving into something no one seems to talk about, certain vitamins and everyday foods that may be quietly stealing your strength, especially from your legs. Some of these are common. Some are even marketed as healthy. But trust me, the last two vitamins we'll talk about, near the end, are the real shockers. Almost no one talks about them, yet they might be the biggest reason your legs feel tired, unsteady, or weaker than they should. So please, stay with me until the end. I promise this will be worth your time. And if this video helps you in any way, let me know by typing a simple 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me what I can do better next time. I'm here to serve you, and your feedback matters. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. This way, you'll never miss another tip to help you stay mobile, strong, and independent, no matter your age. Now, let's begin. Part 1. The daily foods that drain your legs. 1. Sugar and sweets. After dinner, many of us reach for something sweet. A slice of cake, a few cookies, maybe a scoop of ice cream. It's comforting, familiar, even nostalgic. For years, I had a patient named Ruth who ended every evening with a little dessert. "It helps me sleep," she'd say with a smile. But over time, Ruth began complaining about aching legs, heaviness when walking, and a strange fatigue that wouldn't go away. At first, she blamed aging, but the truth was hiding in her dessert plate. You see, after age 60, our bodies become far more sensitive to the effects of sugar. Refined sugars, like those found in cakes, pies, and even many low-fat snacks, trigger chronic inflammation throughout the body, especially in joints and muscles. According to the World Health Organization, diets high in added sugars are directly linked to increased systemic inflammation, which not only accelerates aging but also contributes to musculoskeletal deterioration. And it doesn't stop there. When you eat sugar, your insulin spikes. Over time, these spikes lead to insulin resistance, a condition that robs your muscles of the energy they need. Weak legs, poor balance, and prolonged recovery after walking or standing can all be tied back to this hidden imbalance. Worse still, sugar contributes to weight gain, and every extra pound you carry puts additional stress on your knees, calves, and ankles. For older adults, that added strain can make walking feel like wading through water. A study from Harvard Medical School confirms that muscle mass declines faster in individuals with high sugar diets compared to those with more balanced nutrition. Yet many seniors don't realize this, because sugar is everywhere and it's often marketed as a harmless treat. But when that cookie is costing you the strength to walk, is it really so harmless? It's not just the weight or the inflammation. Sugar also reduces blood circulation, meaning your muscles receive less oxygen and nutrients after every meal. That's why even a small indulgence can leave your legs feeling stiff or slow the next day. But don't worry, you don't have to give up sweets entirely. You just need better options. Try a cinnamon-sprinkled apple slice, a bowl of Greek yogurt with berries, or a handful of almonds with a drizzle of honey. These choices offer sweetness and support your muscles with real nutrients. Your legs will notice the difference, and so will your energy levels. Now, let's move on to another sneaky culprit that may be hiding in your meals: fried foods. 2. Fried foods. Now let's talk about something that's hard to resist: fried foods. The golden crisp of French fries, the crunch of fried chicken. They bring back memories of comfort, Sunday lunches, and family gatherings. But here's the truth. What feels like comfort food may be quietly compromising your legs. I had a gentleman named Charles, 78 years old, active all his life, who began noticing something odd. After eating fried meals, especially at his favorite diner, his legs felt heavier. Walking became sluggish. At first, he thought it was coincidence. But as a physician, I knew better, and now, I want you to know too. Fried foods are loaded with trans fats and saturated fats. These fats raise inflammatory markers in your body, and that inflammation goes straight to your joints and muscles. According to the World Health Organization, diets high in trans fats are strongly linked to systemic inflammation, poor vascular health, and increased risk of chronic diseases, including reduced mobility in older adults. What's even more troubling is that these fats thicken your blood and damage the lining of your arteries, narrowing them, slowing down circulation, and depriving your muscles of the oxygen and nutrients they desperately need. Think about it this way. Your legs are like engines and blood flow is their fuel. Without proper circulation, the engine sputters, and that's when you start feeling weak, stiff, or even sore. So if your legs feel heavier after a fried meal, it's not just in your head, it's your body struggling to process what you've just eaten. Add to that the fact that fried foods are typically low in protein, fiber, or micronutrients, meaning they offer very little support for muscle strength, and you've got a recipe for leg fatigue and long-term weakness. Harvard health experts have also warned that poor circulation from diets high in fried foods contributes directly to peripheral artery disease, which disproportionately affects the legs and lower extremities in seniors. But here's the good news, you don't have to give up flavor to protect your legs. Switch to oven-roasted vegetables, bake your proteins with olive oil and herbs, or use an air fryer for that satisfying crunch without the toxic load. Simple changes like these can keep your meals delicious, and your legs feeling lighter, stronger, and far more reliable. And speaking of things we eat every day, let's turn our attention to something almost everyone has in the pantry, white bread. 3. White bread. White bread. It's been a staple on breakfast tables for decades. Toasted, buttered, or used in a quick sandwich, it feels harmless, even familiar. But after the age of 60, this seemingly innocent food can quietly work against your leg strength and energy. You see, white bread is made from refined flour, a form of carbohydrate that has been stripped of its fiber, vitamins, and minerals. This process leaves behind a fast-digesting starch that rapidly spikes your blood sugar. According to the World Health Organization, high glycemic foods like white bread are linked to insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and inflammation, all of which contribute to poor muscle function, especially in older adults. When your blood sugar rises quickly, your body pumps out insulin to bring it back down. But over time, especially with repeated consumption of refined carbs, your cells stop responding to insulin effectively. The result? Less glucose enters your muscle cells, meaning less fuel for your legs. This is why something as simple as walking up the stairs can feel like a workout. Your muscles are underpowered, and your legs begin to lose that firmness and steadiness you once took for granted. A study published by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health confirmed that refined grains contribute to muscle loss in aging populations, while diets rich in whole grains and quality proteins help preserve strength and mobility. And let's not forget the weight factor. White bread contributes to fat gain, especially around the midsection. Every pound added puts more pressure on your knees, hips, and ankles, accelerating joint wear and increasing the risk of imbalance or falls. The good news is you don't have to give up bread entirely. Whole grain options like oat-based loaves, naturally fermented sourdough, or multigrain bread made with seeds and fiber offer slower digestion, more sustained energy, and support for muscle health. Pair them with a protein-rich topping, like eggs, avocado, or cottage cheese, and you've just created a meal that not only tastes great, but also protects your legs. Now that we've uncovered the danger hiding in something as simple as a slice of bread, let's look at another common habit that may be setting your legs back, your evening drink. For alcohol. Picture this, it's Friday evening, and you're enjoying a drink with old friends. Maybe it's a glass of wine, a little whiskey, or a cold beer on the porch. The laughter flows easily, and for a while, everything feels just right. But the next morning, something doesn't. Your legs feel stiff, achy, maybe even a bit weak. You chalk it up to age or maybe the weather, but the real culprit might be what was in your glass. After 60, the body processes alcohol far less efficiently. According to the World Health Organization, aging reduces the liver's ability to break down and eliminate alcohol, increasing its toxic effects on tissues, especially muscles and joints. One major impact of alcohol is that it depletes your body's stores of magnesium, a mineral essential for muscle contraction, nerve function, and bone health. Without enough magnesium, you're more prone to cramps, spasms, and that dragging sensation in your legs. Alcohol also promotes dehydration by acting as a diuretic, pulling water from your tissues and joints. Less hydration means your cartilage, the shock absorber of your joints, dries out and becomes less flexible. That's one reason your knees or ankles might feel creaky or stiff after a night of drinking. Research from Harvard Medical School has also shown that chronic alcohol use contributes to decreased muscle repair and delayed recovery after exertion. In plain terms, your legs don't bounce back the way they should, and soreness tends to linger longer. There's also the issue of inflammation. Alcohol increases systemic inflammation, which compounds the damage to joint tissues and contributes to conditions like arthritis and peripheral neuropathy. All of this adds up to slower, stiffer movement and a higher risk of falls. But there's a way forward. If you enjoy the ritual of an evening drink, try swapping to non-alcoholic alternatives, like herbal teas or sparkling water with citrus. Not only are these gentler on your system, but they also help preserve hydration, mineral balance, and the flexibility your joints need. And as we shift from what we drink to what we put on our plates, there's another hidden danger that deserves attention: processed meats. Let's take a closer look. 5 processed meats. Let me tell you about something that shows up on far too many breakfast plates: processed meats. Bacon, sausages, deli ham. They're convenient, savory, and often part of morning routines we've followed for years. But here's what you might not realize. Those same foods could be contributing to that stiffness you feel in your legs when you first get out of bed. You know the feeling. Your calves feel tight, your knees are slow to respond, and it takes a few minutes before your legs start moving comfortably. One major reason behind this discomfort is the extremely high sodium content in processed meats. According to the World Health Organization, most adults already consume well above the recommended daily sodium limit, and processed meats are among the top contributors. Excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid, leading to swollen legs, heaviness, and poor circulation, especially overnight. That puffiness you feel in the morning? It's not just water weight, it's inflammation building up in your tissues, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your muscles. And let's not forget the nitrates and nitrites used to preserve these meats and extend their shelf life. These compounds have been shown to interfere with blood vessel function and can increase oxidative stress within the muscles. Over time, this can weaken leg strength and slow recovery after even simple activities like walking or standing for extended periods. WHO classifies processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens, placing them in the same category as tobacco, because of their association not only with cancer, but also with chronic inflammatory diseases that impair mobility and long-term health. But the solution is both simple and delicious. Swap out processed meats for grilled chicken, hard-boiled eggs, or even legumes like lentils or chickpeas. These choices are high in protein and low in harmful additives, supporting muscle repair, circulation, and energy without the inflammatory side effects. Once you make the switch, your legs may start feeling lighter, more flexible, and ready to carry you through your day with greater ease. Now that we've tackled the meats that can silently wear down your strength, let's move on to another hidden culprit: those quick meals in a cup we often turn to when we're short on time. Instant noodles. 6 instant noodles. Instant noodles? Quick, cheap, and often comforting after a long day. Just add hot water, and within minutes you have a warm meal. But for seniors, especially those managing high blood pressure or struggling with leg fatigue, this convenience can come at a steep cost. Most instant noodles are loaded with sodium, sometimes containing more than half your recommended daily intake in a single serving. According to the World Health Organization, excessive sodium intake is one of the leading dietary risks for hypertension, which affects over 2/3 of adults over 60. High sodium doesn't just raise blood pressure, it also promotes fluid retention. This means your legs may become swollen, heavy, and more prone to aching after meals, especially when you've eaten something salty. And because instant noodles lack meaningful protein, fiber, or essential vitamins, they offer little support for muscle function or energy. Over time, this kind of diet, high in salt, low in nutrients, can lead to cumulative weakness in your lower limbs. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition linked frequent consumption of ultra-processed convenience foods with declining muscle strength and increased risk of frailty in older adults. So while a bowl of noodles might feel comforting, your body, especially your legs, pays the price. A smarter choice? Opt for whole grain pasta with olive oil and steamed vegetables, or a quick lentil soup with herbs and lemon. These meals nourish your muscles, support circulation, and help you avoid that dragging sensation in your legs. And now, speaking of foods that seem joyful but secretly work against you, let's talk about a treat that many associate with celebration: store-bought cakes. 7 industrial cakes. There's something undeniably nostalgic about the smell of a store-bought cake, sweet, warm, and often tied to memories of birthdays, holidays, or an afternoon pick-me-up. But beneath the icing lies a troubling truth, especially for seniors. Industrially made cakes are typically loaded with trans fats and synthetic preservatives, both of which can have serious consequences for your muscles and joints. Trans fats, used to extend shelf life and enhance texture, are known to increase inflammation throughout the body. According to the World Health Organization, there is no safe level of trans fat consumption, and it recommends eliminating them entirely from the global food supply due to their role in raising bad cholesterol, lowering good cholesterol, and promoting systemic inflammation. This inflammation often concentrates in the joints and soft tissues of the legs, leading to stiffness, swelling, and a loss of flexibility. On top of that, these cakes contain preservatives like BHA and artificial colors that disrupt your body's natural balance, exhausting your immune system and slowing down cellular repair. Over time, these chemical stressors leave you feeling more fatigued and less able to move with ease. Combine that with the sugar spikes caused by these desserts, and you've got a recipe for muscular energy crashes and joint discomfort. But you don't have to give up dessert entirely to protect your legs. Try homemade oat banana muffins sweetened with cinnamon or a touch of honey, foods that provide fiber, potassium, and anti-inflammatory benefits in every bite. These choices not only satisfy your sweet tooth but also help fuel your body in a way that supports strength, circulation, and stability. And as we move forward, let's take a look at another ingredient that sneaks into many people's daily meals: processed cheese products. Part 2: Dangerous Everyday Foods Hiding in Plain Sight. 1. Processed cheeses. Processed cheese slices, spreads, and melt-in-your-mouth cheese sauces might seem like simple ways to add flavor to your meals, but they come with hidden risks, especially for your legs. These highly processed cheeses are packed with saturated fats, excessive salt, and food-grade phosphates that can quietly disrupt your body's mineral balance. Specifically, they interfere with the absorption of calcium and magnesium, 2 minerals essential for healthy muscle contraction, nerve signaling, and bone integrity. According to the World Health Organization, high intake of sodium and phosphate additives has been linked to increased risk of cardiovascular strain and musculoskeletal imbalances in older adults. When your body can't properly regulate these minerals, leg cramps become more frequent, joint stiffness intensifies, and you may notice muscle fatigue even after light activity. Inflammation triggered by these additives can also contribute to poor blood circulation, meaning your legs receive less oxygen and nutrients than they need to recover and remain strong. Over time, these issues can lead to declining mobility and a higher risk of falls, especially in seniors already coping with age-related muscle loss. But there are better options. Fresh cheeses like ricotta, cottage cheese, or goat cheese offer protein and calcium with significantly fewer additives and inflammatory fats. These varieties also tend to be easier to digest and more compatible with the needs of an aging body. They nourish instead of deplete, and when paired with fruits, vegetables, or whole grains, they help stabilize energy and support muscular strength. So the next time you reach for that shiny wrapped cheese slice, remember that a fresher, simpler alternative could be the difference between aching legs and steady steps. And now, speaking of indulgent favorites that may be silently working against you, Let's turn to one that's especially tempting on hot afternoons: industrial ice cream. 2. Industrial ice cream. On a warm afternoon, few things are as tempting as a bowl of ice cream: cool, creamy, and nostalgic. But industrial ice cream, the kind commonly found in grocery store freezers, can do more harm than good when it comes to your legs. These products are typically high in refined sugars and saturated fats, creating a blood sugar roller coaster that leaves your muscles with inconsistent energy supply. According to the World Health Organization, excessive intake of added sugars and saturated fats increases the risk of metabolic disorders, impairs insulin function, and promotes inflammation, all of which can reduce muscle performance and endurance, particularly in older adults. When blood sugar levels spike after eating industrial ice cream, insulin floods the system to manage it, but the crash that follows leaves your muscles underpowered and fatigued. This instability is especially problematic for the legs, which rely on steady fuel to support mobility and balance. Furthermore, saturated fats in lower-quality ice creams compromise vascular health, reducing circulation to your limbs and depriving your muscles of oxygen and essential nutrients. This is why you might feel heaviness or cramping after indulging, especially if you're over 60. The WHO also warns that diets high in processed sugars and fats contribute to chronic inflammation, a key driver of joint pain and decreased mobility in aging populations. But here's a sweet solution that won't sabotage your strength. Try frozen Greek yogurt topped with berries and a few dark chocolate chips. Greek yogurt offers protein for muscle repair, berries provide antioxidants to combat inflammation, and dark chocolate supports circulation with flavonoids. It's a dessert that satisfies your cravings and supports your legs at the same time. Now, let's move from the freezer aisle to another popular indulgence that might be sneaking into your day: milk chocolate. 3. Milk chocolate. Milk chocolate may be a childhood favorite and a daily indulgence for many, but after 60, it's one of those small pleasures that can quietly steal your strength, especially from your legs. Most commercial milk chocolates are low in actual cocoa content and extremely high in refined sugar and saturated fats. This combination creates a perfect storm for chronic inflammation. According to the World Health Organization, diets rich in added sugars and poor-quality fats significantly increase systemic inflammation and metabolic instability, which directly contribute to muscle fatigue, joint stiffness, and reduced physical function in older adults. When you consume milk chocolate, the sugar causes rapid spikes and crashes in blood glucose, leading to inconsistent energy levels that leave your leg muscles feeling weak and unsteady. At the same time, the low levels of beneficial compounds in milk chocolate, such as flavonoids, mean you're getting all the calories but none of the circulation-boosting, muscle-supporting benefits that cocoa offers. This imbalance over time increases the risk of sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass and strength. But that doesn't mean you have to give up chocolate entirely. Instead, choose dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa. Rich in flavonoids and antioxidants, dark chocolate supports healthy blood flow and helps reduce inflammation, making it a much better choice for protecting your joints and maintaining strong legs. A few small squares can go a long way, not just in flavor but in function. Now that we've unwrapped the truth about chocolate, let's open another familiar package: those canned foods that seem so convenient, yet carry hidden risks for your mobility. 4. Canned foods. Canned foods might seem like a convenient solution, quick to prepare, easy to store, and often budget-friendly, but beneath the label lies a set of risks that many older adults overlook, particularly when it comes to leg strength and mobility. Most canned goods are packed with hidden sodium and chemical preservatives used to extend shelf life, and according to the World Health Organization, diets high in sodium are directly linked to elevated blood pressure, fluid retention, and increased risk of cardiovascular and muscular complications. For seniors, this means swollen legs, reduced circulation, and that familiar feeling of heaviness or discomfort when trying to move or stand. Beyond the salt, many canned products have low nutrient density, stripped of essential vitamins and minerals during processing, and offer little to no benefit for maintaining muscle mass or supporting joint function. Even more concerning is the presence of aluminum, which can leach into food from the can lining, especially when heated or stored over time. WHO and other health authorities have raised concerns about the neurotoxic potential of aluminum exposure, especially in vulnerable populations, noting that cumulative intake may contribute to cognitive decline and impaired neuromuscular function. That's a serious price to pay for convenience. But the solution is simple: choose frozen vegetables, which often retain more nutrients than canned ones, or better yet, cook with fresh ingredients at home. Not only will your meals be richer in flavor, but they'll also support circulation, muscle repair, and overall vitality. And now that we've opened the lid on the hidden dangers in your pantry, let's take a closer look at another common snack: those filled cookies and processed treats that seem harmless but could be draining your strength bite by bite. 5 filled cookies and packaged snacks. Filled cookies and packaged snacks might feel like a harmless treat, something to nibble on with afternoon tea or keep in the pantry for a quick bite. But for seniors, these ultra-processed foods can have a lasting impact on leg health and overall mobility. What makes these snacks especially harmful is what you don't see on the label: hidden trans fats and hydrogenated oils. These synthetic fats are used to enhance texture and shelf life, but according to the World Health Organization, they are a leading dietary cause of cardiovascular disease and systemic inflammation, both of which impair circulation and muscular performance. When trans fats accumulate in your system, they inflame blood vessels and disrupt healthy blood flow, especially to your lower limbs. Over time, this poor circulation contributes to chronic swelling in the legs and ankles, fatigue during movement, and in many cases, the development of varicose veins. That heaviness you feel after long periods of sitting or standing. It could be the result of your snack choices. In addition, these products are often packed with refined sugar and excess sodium, which further promote fluid retention, spike insulin levels, and weaken the vascular structures that support strong, stable legs. The WHO has repeatedly urged governments to eliminate industrial trans fats from the global food supply, stating there is no safe level of consumption. For older adults, whose muscle mass and vascular resilience are already declining, this warning is especially urgent. But rather than giving up snacking altogether, consider making a homemade trail mix using unsalted nuts, pumpkin or sunflower seeds, and dried fruits like cranberries or apricots. This simple combination provides healthy fats, protein, and essential minerals that support blood flow, muscle repair, and sustained energy without the damaging effects of artificial additives. As we continue, let's uncover another ingredient that hides in plain sight across countless processed foods: monosodium glutamate, and explore how it may be quietly affecting your legs in ways you've never imagined. Part 3: Flavor enhancers that sabotage your legs. Monosodium glutamate. Monosodium glutamate, or MSG, is one of those ingredients that many people don't think twice about, but its effects on the body, especially in older adults, are far from harmless. Often added to enhance flavor in instant noodles, soups, frozen meals, and packaged snacks, MSG is a synthetic form of glutamate, a neurotransmitter involved in sending signals between your nerves and muscles. The problem arises when the stimulation becomes excessive. According to research acknowledged by the World Health Organization, excessive glutamate intake can overstimulate nerve cells, a process known as excitotoxicity, which is particularly harmful in aging populations. This overstimulation disrupts the delicate balance in neuromuscular communication, triggering symptoms like leg tremors, nighttime cramps, tingling sensations, and in more sensitive individuals, even muscle weakness after meals. You may have felt it before: legs that suddenly twitch or feel heavy after eating something savory and prepackaged. MSG could be the silent culprit. And it's not always easy to spot. Manufacturers often disguise MSG on ingredient labels under names like yeast extract, hydrolyzed protein, natural flavors, or flavor enhancer E621. These aliases make it hard for consumers to recognize when they're actually consuming added glutamate. For older adults already dealing with reduced nerve sensitivity or circulatory efficiency, this hidden ingredient can be especially disruptive. Additionally, studies supported by global health authorities, including WHO, have linked chronic MSG intake to increased inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate muscle fatigue and impair recovery. That inflammation often shows up first in the legs, where we notice it as stiffness, soreness, or the inability to stand or walk for long periods. But the good news is that flavor doesn't have to come at the expense of your health. Natural herbs and spices like turmeric, garlic, rosemary, thyme, and ginger offer powerful taste without the neurological side effects. Not only do these alternatives enhance your meals, but many of them, like turmeric, also carry anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting properties that directly support leg strength and mobility. So the next time you're seasoning soup or preparing a marinade, skip the packet and reach for your spice rack instead. Now that we've covered the hidden nerve disruptor found in so many processed foods, let's turn our attention to something even more surprising. The two vitamins that, when taken in excess, may actually weaken your legs instead of strengthening them. Part 4: The shocking truth. 2 vitamins that hurt your legs. 1. Vitamin A excess. Yes, even essential vitamins can hurt you if misused. We often think of vitamins as harmless, something you take to stay healthy, especially as you get older. But when it comes to vitamin A, more is not always better. In fact, taking too much can quietly sabotage your leg strength, bone health, and energy levels. Vitamin A is critical for vision, immune function, and skin, but in excess, especially through supplements, it becomes toxic to muscles and joints. According to the World Health Organization, chronic overconsumption of vitamin A can lead to a condition called hypervitaminosis A, which causes symptoms like muscle pain, joint stiffness, and in some cases, even liver and kidney strain. For seniors, the most noticeable effect often shows up in the legs, where aching, weakness, or trouble standing up from a chair become more frequent. This happens because too much vitamin A interferes with the absorption of key minerals like calcium and magnesium, which are vital for muscle contractions and bone density. When your muscles can't contract properly, you feel fatigued. When your bones start losing density, your legs become more vulnerable to fractures and instability. Studies backed by WHO and other major health bodies have shown that high levels of vitamin A, especially from animal-based sources like liver or from concentrated supplements, are associated with an increased risk of osteoporosis in aging adults. And yet, many people continue taking multivitamins or fortified foods without realizing they may be doubling or even tripling their daily intake. This is why testing is so important. Before starting any new supplement, especially fat-soluble vitamins like A, ask your doctor for a simple blood test. It's the best way to know whether your body actually needs more or less. Remember, balance matters more than abundance. You can also get safe levels of vitamin A naturally through foods like carrots, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens, which contain beta-carotene, the plant form of vitamin A that the body converts as needed, without the risk of toxicity. And now that we've looked at the surprising downside of vitamin A, let's turn to another supplement that's even more common in older adults, and just as risky when overused: vitamin D. 2. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, and for good reason. It plays a vital role in maintaining strong bones, regulating immune function, and supporting muscle health. For older adults, especially those who spend less time outdoors, vitamin D supplements are commonly recommended. But here's what many people don't know. Too much vitamin D can be just as dangerous as too little, particularly for your legs, nerves, and kidneys. When taken in excess, vitamin D increases calcium absorption in the gut, leading to a condition called hypercalcemia, elevated calcium levels in the blood. According to the World Health Organization, hypercalcemia caused by oversupplementation can result in muscle cramps, joint stiffness, nerve dysfunction, and even damage to the kidneys, which are responsible for filtering out excess minerals. For seniors, this can translate into leg pain, burning sensations, tingling, or even difficulty coordinating movement. What's more, vitamin D is fat-soluble, meaning it's stored in your body's tissues rather than excreted easily like water-soluble vitamins. Over time, this buildup can calcify soft tissues, including muscles, tendons, and blood vessels, making your legs feel stiffer, less flexible, and more prone to injury or fatigue. WHO guidelines emphasize that supplementation should be tailored to actual need, not assumed benefit. Unfortunately, many older adults take high-dose vitamin D pills daily without ever testing their levels, believing more means better. But the science says otherwise. A study published by the National Institutes of Health found that individuals who took more than 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day over extended periods experienced significantly higher risks of kidney stones, vascular stiffness, and musculoskeletal pain. These are not just side effects, they're signs that your body is overloaded. The solution is simple. Before starting or continuing any vitamin D regimen, ask your doctor to run a blood test. This quick test will show your 25-hydroxyvitamin D level, the most accurate marker of your body's status, and guide the correct dosage if needed. In many cases, adjusting your diet to include vitamin D-rich foods like salmon, sardines, or fortified plant-based milks may be enough to maintain healthy levels without risk of toxicity. And remember, sunlight in moderate amounts can still help your body produce vitamin D naturally without overwhelming your system. So, before you pop another supplement thinking it's helping your bones, consider that it might be quietly weakening your legs instead. And now that we've explored the full list of hidden dietary and supplement threats to your mobility, let's bring it all together with one final message. One that could help you reclaim your strength, protect your independence, and walk confidently into your golden years. Your legs don't just carry your body, they carry your story. The laughter of your grandchildren. The quiet strolls with someone you love. The proud steps you took into retirement. They've helped you chase dreams, care for family, and build a life you can look back on with pride. But as we age, those very same legs can begin to feel the weight of time, especially when we unknowingly feed them the wrong fuel. That aching after dinner, that heaviness in the morning, it's not just age, it's your body asking for better support. And now you know where to start. Don't let a cookie or a supplement bottle silently take away your strength. Start small. Replace one sugary snack with a protein-rich option. Swap white bread for whole grains. Say no to processed meats and yes to meals that nourish. And before you take that next vitamin, especially A or D, talk to your doctor. Ask for a test. Know what your body truly needs. Because protecting your legs means protecting your freedom, your ability to move, explore, connect, and live fully in these golden years. If this video helped you even a little, let us know by typing a 1 in the comments below. And if you want more guidance like this, hit that subscribe button and stay connected with Health Wisdom. We're here to walk this path with you every step of the way. And don't go just yet, because in our next video, we'll reveal the 3 must-have vitamins that every diabetic over 60 should take to stay strong, steady, and active. You'll see it right here on your screen. Until then, take care, and take that first step today.